In the following dramatization, notice the effect that harmful gossip can have on the peace in a congregation.
Can you believe that? Especially as a pioneer. What kind of example is she setting?
Has Emily stopped following her?
No, not yet, but she probably will. Alistair, what do you think?
About what?
Hayley's posts on Quick Post.
Is there a problem?
Emily's told me they're all just look at me. My clothes, my hair, my makeup. And even Celia agrees with her.
Well, it's very easy to take things out of context on social media. I know that I've done that and realised later that I was wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Listen, I don't want to pull you away, but if you have a minute, would you mind giving me a hand with these boxes?
Sure.
Thanks for your help.
No problem.
Jake, back in the hall, I know you were just expressing concern, but here's something to consider. This principle is one of my favourites. It's found in Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 17.
The first to state his case seems right until the other party comes and cross-examines him. I'm not sure I understand.
It just means that sometimes we only hear one side of a story. And until we personally hear both, it's best not to draw any conclusions. And even then, if it's something negative, we wouldn't want to spread it, any more than we want something spread about ourselves.
I hadn't considered that. Thanks. I'm going to apologise to Harry and Marie. And have Emily talk directly to Hayley.
Good idea.
We're watching governing body helper Patrick Lafranca give his part of the symposium, Put Away Peace Wreckers, Harmful Gossip. And to help him with his talk, he's showing us the continuing saga of Emily and Hayley and Celia and Jake. It doesn't really have a title that I'm aware of, but if it had a title, I would suggest Hayley makes a jewelry video and things escalate quickly. That's essentially what this is about. A woman makes a jewelry video, and because the Jehovah's Witness culture is so invasive and everyone's in everyone else's business, it all blows hugely out of proportion. So anyway, this particular part of the soap opera is very interesting. There were 3 moments in particular I wanted to talk about. The first being...
Listen, I don't want to pull you away, but if you have a minute, would you mind giving me a hand with these boxes?
But you did want to pull him away, didn't you? It turns out that was exactly the point of getting Jake to help with the boxes. It was an opportunity to pull him away and counsel him about his gossiping. So straight away we have a contradiction with what was touched on in only the previous symposium item, handled by Gaius Glockentin, Put Away Peace Wreckers, Dishonesty. So we've just had an entire talk about the importance of honesty and not lying. And here we have Alistair, as the character is called. His real name, or the name of the real person, is Steve Papps, who, if I'm not mistaken, is actually a Britain Branch Committee member. Straight away you have Alistair using deception to achieve an aim, which, as I've explained already in this rebuttal, is a Jehovah's Witness strategy. The next moment I wanted to discuss, and it's really the most profound moment if you're watching this as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, is the following.
The first to state his case seems right until the other party comes and cross-examines him. I'm not sure I understand.
It just means that sometimes we only hear one side of a story. And until we personally hear both, it's best not to draw any conclusions.
I wholeheartedly agree with this proverb, and I rejoice whenever Jehovah's Witness propaganda inadvertently drops in a pearl of wisdom that can be turned right back on the organization. And this is actually a point that I picked up from Harrison Kother, who runs the Truth Hurts channel. It was a verse, I think, that he mentioned to his elders when he was first being questioned over his own apostasy. He brought up this verse in Proverbs 18, verse 17. The first to state his case seems right until the other party comes and cross-examines him. And he used it on the organization. The organization is coming along to Jehovah's Witnesses and to people who are being recruited into Jehovah's Witnesses, and it is presenting a case. And many people are persuaded by that case. It's a case that goes something like this. God has only one true organization on the earth. It's his approved channel with mankind. And specifically, there are 8 guys in upstate New York who are being used as this channel with mankind. And we need to listen to what they have to say, because otherwise we will be destroyed at an impending Armageddon. That's the Jehovah's Witness message in a nutshell. It's their case. And many people, for whatever reason, usually because they've been indoctrinated from childhood, find that case compelling. But what Jehovah's Witnesses also do is they say, nobody question this. Nobody look at what critics have to say. Nobody cross-examine us. Nobody is allowed to do any objective research or listen to what former members have to say when they are refuting our claims. That is the position that this organization takes. Actually, when you look at the footnote to cross-examines, until the other party comes and cross-examines him, the footnote reads in the New World Translation, or searches him through. This is an organization that doesn't let you search it through. It literally withholds historical literature from the rank and file. As I've established on this channel, when you are a Bethel elder, your Watchtower online library takes you all the way back to the 19th century when it comes to digitized Jehovah's Witness publications, so that you can research as far back as you like. They have that capability, which they could easily extend to all Jehovah's Witnesses, but they only allow not just only Bethelites, but only Bethel elders to have access to this material, because it's embarrassing. Because when you actually research the organization's history, and particularly its own literature, it quickly becomes apparent that this is a scam. The Jehovah's Witness case falls apart. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching my rebuttals this convention season and you take nothing else away from them, please, I beg of you, ponder this verse and how easily it can be applied to the organization that demands your loyalty. And finally, I just wanted to pick up on what gets said in the car park towards the end of that clip, where Jake says,
Thanks. I'm going to apologise to Harry and Marie. and have Emily talk directly to Hayley.
Interesting wording that, isn't it? I'm going to have Emily talk directly to Hayley. Not, I'm going to ask Emily to talk to Hayley. Not, I'm going to recommend that Emily talks directly to Hayley. But I'm going to have Emily talk directly to Hayley, which implies Emily is going to be ordered. Emily is going to receive an order from her husband, who is her spiritual head. So I love the fact that because the writers of this propaganda are so lacking in self-awareness, because they are so indoctrinated, and they live in this bubble where nothing ever gets cross-examined, as I was explaining earlier, stuff like this just gets woven in to their propaganda, and you get clues, you get breadcrumbs pointing to the true nature of the organization. In this case, just how sexist and misogynistic it truly is.